Good morning.
Good morning.
Let these people here know there's a place to go, a place to be. I can't tell you how many times people go, I didn't know you were in person.
I think that's so funny because we say it every time.
Are you really watching?
I think you're not really listening.
I mean, do you have it on to where you're just looking at the words?
Just watch.
Because, yeah.
Okay, so listen, if you know that we are in person, but you are not in person today, could you say hi and yes that you know we're in person?
Yes.
Just so we know we're getting it across.
So we know that you know that we know that you know.
Get some hugs in person.
I know.
Because
The hugs are building up over here.
Yes.
I know. All these people want to give out hugs.
That's right. That's right. Do
Do
you know 20-second hug will change you physiologically, changes you. 20 seconds.
20-second hug.
20-second hug.
All right, well, I'm gonna get a lot of
That's information brought to you from Humor, Hope, Hugs, and Hummus.
Sing happy birthday.
Yeah.
So we'll just sing happy birthday.
There you go.
There you go. Awesome. Well, welcome everyone. Thanks for being here. I love that we're growing and that we get to see your lovely faces in person every time. So thanks for being here and supporting us. We super appreciate that.
We absolutely do.
I know, I love it. And we're at the Unleash Your Life Studios, like we just said a moment ago, but in case you weren't listening all the way, we want to make sure you're aware that Reverend Dr. Michelle Whittington gives us this space to house our ministry, and we are so appreciative of it. She really supports us. And so we want to give a shout out to all the work that she does here, primarily for women. And so she's got classes, she's got year-long kind of things that you can jump into. So you can check it out on unleashyourlife.us and see what all she has going on. I can highly recommend it. She's been a big mentor for both of us for years.
And we're just going to give her a little shout out right now. She's in Prescott at Unity of Prescott, and she's speaking today. So
nice. Awesome. Yeah, she's getting all over the place.
Yeah, she is.
So that's awesome.
Amazing. So we have,
and she was here on the sofa just a couple weeks ago. I have to say, she was here with us. I know, you can check it out because it's still on the live. It's still on the group, so you can always go back and get that.
And we also want to invite you to like our YouTube channel. And today is our first day officially streaming to our YouTube channel. So
we finally got through. So
we've been verified and magnified.
We're legit, you guys. We are legit.
We are.
In case you were wondering what the heck is going on here. It's a new way to do church, a new way to do community, but particularly a different way to do church is what we wanted to create. And so that's why we sit up here on a red sofa together talking about all the things.
All the things.
Oh,
yes.
So we're going to begin within, and you're going to begin us.
She's so bossy.
I am a little bossy.
With the sound of that, let's just take a deep breath in and out. Let's come into this place, into this space, into this moment, using our breath to ground ourselves, to be present, using our breath to let go of everything that has already happened today, yesterday, last week. Just let it go for this moment, just this moment. Let it all just go. And using your breath to release anything we know is happening right after this. Anything you have to do, any worries, all of that stuff, just let it fall to the side so you can be present with us this morning. And as we feel ourselves here with each other, we feel that connection between every heart in this room. We feel the love, the energy between us. Even through the live feed, we feel the connection because we are all one. There is only one. There is only one power, one presence. There is only actually one moment. There's one life. And that life is God's life. That life is God, is the divine, is spirit. And each one of us are made of that sparkly, like Jeannie likes to say, sparkly God stuff. We're made of the only thing we could be made of, and that is God. And as each one of us knows that truth and centers into that right now, I speak my word. knowing that as I do, it sets the law of God in motion for the highest and best for this time together, for our service, for our church, for our topic, for what we share, for what we bring together in this time. And I know that it is divinely guided and blessed. I am so grateful that we allow ourselves to be open to the ideas, to the sharing. We allow ourselves to bring in the love, bring in the laughter, bring in the joy, bring in the energy. And I am so grateful that this is what we get to do every Sunday. I am so grateful that everyone that is with us is here, that is watching us, is present with us through spirit. And so I let it all go, and I know that it is so good today. And together we say, and so it is.
Thank you. It looks like there's a music group on YouTube called Sofa Sundays.
There it is.
There is. Yes. And if you're looking on for YouTube, it's under Begin Within Ministries.
Oh, got it.
Yes. So thank you for that.
Say
So,
it for them, what just happened because.
yes. Fine. So they come in after the prayer and they don't hear the announcement that we're live. That's what I've decided.
Wow, that's what's going on.
Yes, that's what's going on. So on YouTube, you want to find us under Begin Within Ministries.
Yes.
That's our actual ministry.
There
name,
you
our
go.
ministry.
I'm already subscribed.
You
I love
did.
it.
Yes, you're one of our 7. So thank you.
Begin Within Ministries is the name of our ministry because we believe that everything begins within. You always need to begin within. And then our service is called, obviously, Sofa Sundays, because Jeannie came up with that amazing name, and I was like, oh my God,
Right?
where did she get these great
Yes.
ideas? It was awesome.
There you go.
I know.
So yes.
We have a closing card and affirmation for
Right,
this month.
This is the last Sunday of July.
It is. You guys,
Yes.
it's July. It's almost done.
Almost done.
Those of us in Arizona, I should have
Right.
added a quick prayer for rain.
Right.
Can we
Pray
just
rain.
can we just
Pray
pray rain right now?
rain.
Let's just pray rain. Let's
Pray
feel
rain.
rain.
It's gonna rain.
Feel it raining on us
Raining.
right now.
I
Oh.
left when we left this morning to come here, I walked outside and I smelled rain.
I smell.
Yes.
I love that.
Smell rain.
Smell rain, feel rain, hear rain. Spend time like 5 minutes today and just pray rain. And that is in the act of it raining, not God, please make it rain.
Yeah.
It's so hot. Like that
No.
doesn't do. It keeps it further away. I think Instead, pray it like it is happening. Feel it, see it, hear it, smell it. All of the senses, and let's all bring it right to us
Right.
because I'm hot. It's
Not
hot.
me. You know,
It's
the heat,
hot.
You are
the heat doesn't bother me. My friend Ann tells me the heat doesn't bother me, and
That's right.
you know,
I tried that, and it still bothers me.
it actually works. You know, it does.
It
It,
does work.
works.
I do
Yes.
want the rain. I'm an
I-
Arizona girl. I'm a native, so I think anybody that's been here at least, I don't know, 10 years, 5 years,
Yeah.
you want the rain. We Arizona people are like, bring it.
Yeah, because it will drop at like 30 degrees. So
Oh, that's so beautiful then.
it is.
What are you doing? Are you going to read? Where's my book?
I don't know. Where
Oh,
is your
no.
book? Did you not bring your book
No, I
with you?
think Trey forgot to give it to me, but I'll forgive him this one time.
It's right there.
This book.
No, this book.
That's okay. It wasn't near the basket.
That's
It's fine. It was
fine.
probably my fault.
Probably.
I know.
You know.
He does a great job.
He
so
does.
it probably
Thank
was my
you, Trey.
fault.
Thank you, Trey. He makes
I'll
a
read
great
over.
cup of coffee.
He
You'll
does
read over
make
my
a great cup
shoulder?
of coffee. And
Yeah.
he went and got me one stop this morning. Like he's taking
Because
care
now
of
you're
it.
addicted to one stop.
Yeah, that was
I've
his
noticed
motive.
that,
That was
yeah.
his motive. He's
Because
like,
as long as you like it, he gets it too. Right. So
he
our
said he was smart, right? He
right,
said he was
for
smart.
sure.
Yeah.
Our reading today is on page 147, and it's entitled
In the Hampton
Prosperity in the New Thoughts for Today
Go
book
get this
from
book. You will love this book. Good job, man.
yeah, my Annie. She always knows to have it. The strongest single factor in prosperity consciousness is self-esteem. Believing you deserve it, believing you will get it. Gillies? Money love. Okay. There's only one God, one perfect presence in and through all. This infinite spirit is individualized in me. Every aspect of the divine is available through my conscious recognition of it. The omniscient spirit that I know as God is intelligent and supportive. This perfection is present in, as, and through all, as it is in, as, and through me. Every aspect of this divinity is directly and immediately available to me through my conscious recognition of it. Infinite supply is accessible to me in my life right now. I focus on expanding my expression of prosperity. In nature, I see the abundance God provides to my world. I know that prosperity is my true state of being. I manage my finances with wisdom and love. My belief is that I deserve it and that I will always be prosperous in all aspects of my being, including health, wealth, love, and self-expression. I appreciate that this is the truth in my life and that it is unfolding easily and naturally. I am grateful for all that I now have in my life. I am rich and successful, and I celebrate my affluence. I know that this truth has already manifested in my world. All right, everybody together. The truth of my life is prosperity. Yes. Thank you, Reverend Dr. Celeste Turkin, Religious Science, Boca Raton, Florida.
Love it.
So again, that was page 147. All right.
Love it.
So I guess we go back and you
I
wanted
need
to see it. I
can't
know.
see my-
I know. See, here you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, darling.
I love that. I love the strongest single factor in prosperity consciousness is self-esteem, believing you deserve it and believing you will get it. Yep, the belief. And we know this. We know it starts within. We know it starts with us. It starts with what we believe. Thank you, Trey. It starts with what we believe and that we deserve it and that we will get it. It's that to me, I think, is the biggest part of understanding the truth of my life is prosperity. That is your truth. That is who you are. The abundance, that's ever present. It's always there. It's our alignment, our understanding of it, our belief around it, all of those things. Listening to how are we talking about abundance? And we say this over and over again, we're not just talking about money, although money is the big, I think, barometer of how you are feeling about your abundance, because that's the one that's so readily available to us to see it so easily, the energy of money. But it's all areas of life. We've talked to you over this month about looking at the 8 areas of your life and what do you want in those areas? And then now it's like, do you believe you deserve it? Do you believe that you can have it? So maybe the self-checking on what's coming up for you. What are you actually saying to yourself and thinking about those areas, and then do some work around them.
Right.
Process all of that.
And so we've talked about having that belief and, looking at the fears involved with
Yes.
prosperity and jumping out and seeing what's available to us. And I was thinking on this topic and I was reading something on prosperity consciousness, and it was the author, Ariel Sterling. She said, this is based on prosperity consciousness is based on 2 questions to ask ourselves, 2 assumptions. There is no future or past. There is only the now moment. And we all coexist in the field of infinite possibilities where we are already connected to everything and everybody. So with those 2 assumptions being there is no lack. Because in this now moment, I have everything. Everything is right here, right now. So I really was that resonated with me, that, okay, when I feel a lack in an area, it's generally because I am looking at the future, right? I'm looking at what bill needs to be paid or what something has come up that needs to happen, Or I'm looking at the past of a way that I didn't get something and now I'm suffering, whether it be financially, emotionally, mentally. And then to realize that this so-called lack is already here. All love is already here. All money is already here. Everything that I could want for my life is already here. It's my work to be open to it and to receive it.
It's your work to be aligned with it, right? And to recognize when you're out of alignment, and the emotions are your best friends in that area. Even if they feel awful, you can still say, thank you so much. Now I have an awareness that I'm not being present.
Right.
I'm not present, and I'm not in alignment with what I want, because I'm not present. And it's even talking about praying rain. It's not the baking of it. It's not that we haven't had rain for all this time. And my gosh, they were supposed to have rain yesterday. It was on the forecast and we didn't get it. And that's true. I just want you to know that is true. It was on the forecast and we didn't get it. But that's the thinking, right? The whole consciousness is thinking that. I've had multiple people say that to me. Weren't we supposed to get rain today? We didn't get rain. Weren't we supposed to have that today? Do you have a question? You want the mic?
You need to be more specific. It rained for 30 seconds and surprise.
That's right. There you go.
Yes,
There
be
you
more
go.
specific, Evie says. It rained for 30 seconds in surprise. Okay,
I found that out.
At my house, I would like a downpour.
That's right.
But that's the trick, is
Right.
the praying, the rain. That's one of the greatest examples to me of aligning with something that you want. We used to do that with the kids at
church camp.
At church camp. We would have them sit with us, because church camp was in the summer and we wanted the rain.
Yes.
So we would have them sit and we would pray rain together. And we even had a little rain stick.
Yes.
And we imagined in our minds what rain felt like falling on us, what rain smelled like, what did it sound like, what did it feel like if you were walking in the mud, the wet ground that had been rained on. What was that feeling like? And all of that. We had them do that, and we brought rain that year. We brought the rain, and the kids were like, oh my gosh, they freaked out.
Yeah, our religious science children really have that, belief there from that.
Yeah.
And that was amazing, because it's funny because it came up on my
Facebook
memories. And one of the things that I did in an opening thing was, we didn't feed the kids bad stuff, right? We fed them very healthily and stuff. But at the time that we did this, I was also still doing manifesting cakes, and so I used to do a lot of baking and stuff. So we were talking about different cake type things and dessert type things first thing in the morning. Now, these children did not physically consume sugar, but you wouldn't have known it if you had walked in.
Right.
Because they were so sugared up by describing their treats and stuff. And we really learned, spend some time with a young one and ask them to tell you about something they want. Kids have no fear. They have no idea that, they're so open to manifesting the goods. They're just so open to manifesting it. They don't have that I can't attitude. And it's a lovely experience to have. Yes.
I agree.
Especially the 5, 6, 7-year-olds.
I know.
They were so much
They're
fun.
still so,
Yes.
they haven't had things happen to them yet where they shifted that,
Right.
When they're little, they're not begging for things. So they're just, and then when I'm going to do this and that, and they're like imagining.
I was reading, we had one that wanted to be a YouTuber.
Yeah, that's
We had a
She has such a good memory.
scientist. We had someone wanted to work for NASA. We had so many different and nothing stood in their way. It was just amazing.
It was very cool. I love that. I know. And to get back to being kind of like that in your own life, but it's the practice, it's always the awareness and the practice. And I talk about it up here, and I'm sure a lot of you have had a friend come to you and have having a bad time. You all know this stuff too. And you are very good at saying to them, hey, here's how you could shift that so that you're attracting actually what you want, because the way you're saying it, you're attracting what you don't. I mean, I'm sure you've all had moments where you've helped somebody come through those times, but it's our own awareness. It's our own thing, and as, I've mentioned it the last couple of Sundays, as I move through a tough time in my own personal life, it's the constant, there's that part of you that will it's so programmed to just slip into this space, right? And then to be in there, and I think it's okay to be there for a moment, but I'm not going to spend my whole day there. So it's like, be there. Okay, what is it? What do you need? What's going on? And I let myself move through the process of the emotion, and I talk to myself. Not maybe out loud, but I do talk to myself.
I talk out loud.
I talk through it, and I talk through the statements, and then I decide I help to verify their validity, and they're never valid. They're not real. So I just talk through them until they unravel their hold on me, and then I move back forward into my day from the place I want to be, not from the place that grabs me and hangs on to me. So I think it's just this constant awareness, and you may go 15, 20 minutes before you go, oh, wait, whoa, what am I doing? That's not how I want to do this. Hold on a minute, because you're the boss, you're in control, you're in charge. It feels like that's just flooding through you, and you're just, whisked away with it, and it may happen for a moment. But as long as you're practicing, I think you should practice every day in the little things so that when these big things come, you're stronger. So maybe you get whisked away for a hot second, but then you're down the path a little bit and you're like, whoa, hold on a minute. Let me just do some things here.
Right, because then you're like, oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute. I know the truth of who and whose I am. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be taken down like that. No. So, but it takes a lot.
It takes practice for sure. It takes practice.
And that's why we called it this. That's why we said begin within ministry. So we wanted to really say this to ourselves, to keep ourselves grounded and reminded. And we wanted to really, I think the underlying of all that we teach is that.
Yes.
Over and over. I mean, I don't think you can hear it enough. It shocks me. We're 7 months in and it still goes back to that, and it's still fresh or something new or a different way to look at it. But it's like a constant way to do life.
Absolutely. And truth is truth, no matter where you find it, right? And that is the basic premise behind science of mind teachings, new thought teachings, right? And then what I always loved was the description of East meeting West, and the science and spirituality walking hand in hand. Those things being the truths of our planet, and how we operate.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to share, that's not the one I wanted to share right this moment. I wanted to share something from this thing called You.
We love that book.
Which is one of my favorite books by Ernest. Here we go. It's in chapter 14, and he says, "You do not rob others by entering into the fullness of your kingdom of joy, your kingdom of abundance. You recognize that all people belong to the same kingdom. You are merely claiming for yourself what you would that the law of good should do unto all." So, what Ernest says is as long as it harms no one, it's yours to have, and great words, and spiritual truth. So very simple, yet not always very easy to align ourselves to accept and receive. And the other reminder is that divine timing does not have a linear thing like me. I'm like, hey, I want this now. And God's like, okay, but now is always happening in the divine. So 34 years ago, I wanted to go to Paris, and it took a bit, until I was ready, until I was with the person I was meant to go with, so remember that even though it's there, in the vortex, it might not be time for you to experience that which you desire. So
I love that because I think from what you're saying, I'm getting the hit like we already know those things are for us. Right? We've talked about that before. The very reason why you desire them is because they're already there for you, right? They're part of your journey, so you pick them up. So it's like, yeah, I wanted to go to Scotland. It took me 25 years to get to the growth that I needed around how I get there to make that happen. Because all I kept saying for 25 years was, I want to go to Scotland. Yeah, someday I'm going to go to Scotland. That's my bucket list. Let's go to Scotland. And, blah, blah, blah. And then one day at 49, I was like, well, hang on a second. How long am I going to keep saying I'd like to go to Scotland? I want to go to Scotland. Why do I keep saying that? Why do I just keep saying that? Why am I not doing it? If I had a client come to me and say, hey, here are my goals, my first thing would be, okay, let's fix them. Here are the goals. We're going to set up, the plans for them, the strategies. I would make like a whole plan. We're going to say, what date do you want to buy? Here's the date. I'm going to back it up and, reverse the engineer it, and I'm going to help you get there. I never once thought to do that for myself, like
once you did, it was like a freight train.
I know it happened in the same year. It was like just bam, and like, oh my gosh, wait, I'm going with? Okay, so, but it's so funny because I do agree with that. I agree with that. Maybe we catch a sense or a feel of something that's ours, and maybe we're just not ready for that yet. So it's not like saying, oh, it didn't come today, so
I'm not getting it.
yeah, I can't have it now or whatever. It's like everything is brewing up. I remember my first business, all my ducks finally got in a row, and then I couldn't find the location for like 6 months. And it was so frustrating because I thought, I don't understand it. I don't understand. I finished I have an MBA now. I finished MBA. I got the money. I've got the partner. I've got, the skill sets. Where is it? Why can't I find the building? How hard can it be to find a damn building to do the business? I don't understand why I can't find the space. And well, at the time I was actually working in a space, and that owner's friend came to me and said, if I could make this place for sale, would you buy it? And I thought,
Oh my God.
and I sat there and I said, she asked me if I would buy it. That was the first thing. Would you buy this? Why don't you buy this? And I said, well, it's not for sale. She goes, if I could make it for sale, would you buy it? And I'm like, yes, I would. I wouldn't have to move what I'm doing. I wouldn't have to do anything. This is like, yes. How are you going to do that? She goes, leave it to me. I've got this. She went. Next thing you know, the owner is coming to me and talking to me about, and I thought, oh my gosh, she wasn't there. She wasn't there and ready. It wasn't that I was not going to get to have it. It wasn't just, I wasn't the only side of the coin, right? Somebody else had to release and get prepared and know that that was the right move for them. And she was still hanging on, and all this stuff had to happen. And it was like a mind blow, like, wow, so I'm not the only one here. I get that now. I'm not the only one on the planet. I'm not the only one that this is all happening for. We're all intertwined with each other. And so maybe it's not you. Maybe it's you.
Maybe it's not
me,
you.
it's you.
Right? No, it's not you. It's me.
Yeah. It's not me. It's you this time. Yes, no. But it was a huge realization that, you may just get to the spot early. I think sometimes we arrive early, sometimes we arrive late, sometimes we arrive right on time, like just whatever in our own mindsets.
I like that.
But I like how you say that God has no time. God is working it all out. God sees the whole big fat picture. We're just like, hey, I'm here. Where's everybody?
Yeah.
What the heck? It's rare for me to be there early. So that's where that's where I get concerned. I don't want to be there, and I don't like being there early where I'm waiting now. That makes me crazy. Waiting for 20 minutes, but I'm so early. No, I want to be right on time, so nobody's waiting. But yeah, I think that's like a great realization. It's the first time I thought about the way you said that is that, it's still yours to have because you desire it. Therefore, it is yours. You just may not get it today, because maybe God has something better around what you're seeing right now or what you're thinking right now. I mean, maybe, I don't know. It's possible that God might know more than you.
Yeah, divine right action might be better.
It's possible. And I guarantee you're going to want whatever God has planned way over what you have planned, because it's going to be better. Anyway.
But we have such impatience.
What?
Especially when we're there, like in the desire phase, right? So I don't know. Did
I
I?
love the desire phase.
Did I? Right?
We're in the
Did I
desire.
share this? Dakota and I went to this class on how to remember names, and but the thing, as the guy was teaching this, he taught the ability to remember goal setting, and
That's
he
fun.
did it in such a way that we didn't even realize what we were remembering. And so he starts out, and I'm not going to give away his secret. If you want to know about him, I'll let you know. But I can tell you that it starts with a desire, a belief. You need to write it down. You need to know wait a minute. You need to analyze the situation, know the benefits, have a deadline, realize there's obstacles, know the people that you want to speak to, and have the knowledge, and make a plan, have a plan for it. And you're going to have an image for it, and you need to be persistent. Did I get them all, baby?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Dakota's like,
There you go. Now there are areas, he taught this to us, and there were like points on your body that each one of these things said, you know? And so I did that without grabbing them right now. So lucky you. Dakota was doing some of the pointing for me, so I would remember. But yeah, the desire phase, you know, there is that. Now you've got to have that belief, and you do need to write it down. These things, you know, Reverend Michelle talks about it. I mean, there is definitely different people who have said inspiration without perspiration is just entertainment, right? Like you've got to put some action behind this.
without perspiration. I love it.
Yeah, you got to put some action to it. So now I have another question, because we kind of touched on this. And, you know, we wouldn't be a church if I didn't mention tithe and hallelujah.
Oh, Lordy. Lordy, Lordy.
So now here is something that I wanted to bring up in a different way than what you've probably heard before. So anybody that's been to any type of church service has heard the tithing speech, to give where you're spiritually fed and it'll come back to you. I recently read something where this woman looked at it just a little bit differently, that there were different types of tithing, and I've heard that too before, time, talent, and treasure. But she looked at it this way, not so much in the percentages of money, but in the, I made a note, so pardon me here for a second, in the order that we give. So that in the order that we give our money, I just got paid. The first one should be to God. Whether it's 10% or 10 cents, God should be the first to be given to. Where you're spiritually fed. And then you. For entertainment, for your self-care, and then others. And others includes the bills. Now, your bills might be $500, and you might have 6 cents left, right? And you know that going in. So get rid of that 6 cents first, right? Get that to God. Get that to your personal care. Because you're telling the universe, this is the order that matters to me. That my spiritual development, where I'm spiritually fed, myself and my self-care, and then APS.
Wow.
Right?
That would shift the whole
It would.
mindset around
Yes.
how you handle your money.
Yes.
Not just those two first things, but how you would accumulate bills, how you would, overspend or underspend or whatever you're doing. That's going to change your whole thinking.
Right.
Who said this?
It was in last month's Unity magazine. I
love
didn't write it down.
I have never
but-
thought like that.
Yeah,
before.
so I read that this morning and I was like, I love this idea, because so many times, especially in churches, you'll hear about give us your money. the 10% thing. And she said, this isn't really about the amount, right? It's about who's first.
I love that because
Yeah.
you'll get the nudging for the amount. You're going to get like, I had a brother-in-law one time that, which was so. No, I had this brother-in-law of mine one time. Let me say that differently, but I needed $250 to pay for something that Jordan. This is my firstborn, so my firstborn is now 31. So this is how long ago he's like 8, and I needed $250 to put him in this camp he desperately wanted to go to, and I didn't have it. And I didn't know how I was going to get it or what I was going to do for it. And it was always in the back of my mind because as a single mom, anybody that's been a single mom, you want for your kids so badly. And you just want to, like, I don't know if it's compensate that you're a single mom or compensate that you couldn't do all these things all the time. But this one thing was like a really big deal. And I went there because my sister had just had a baby. And they weren't getting any rest. Brand new parents. Remember those days where like you're like up all night, scared all night, like don't want to break it, don't want to like what am I doing the whole time? Yeah, so they were both so exhausted. I started getting afraid for them and the baby because you're not sleeping. So I came over. I said, let me come over and spend the night. I'm gonna have Jordan spend the night with a friend. I'm gonna come down. I lived in Prescott. They lived down here. I came down. I spent the night and I cared for my niece all night long so they could just sleep. And that's what I did. And in the morning when I was packing my stuff and getting ready to go, my brother-in-law was sitting at their kitchen table and he was doing the bills. He'd gotten paid that Friday, the day before, and he was doing the bills. And today they own a big church out in Tacoma, out in Seattle, in Washington, and it's global. Like he's a huge pastor out there now. They're like going crazy over there. But at the time, he was trying, just barely getting things going, and he was a big tither. And he said, Jennifer, can you come here for just a second? I want to talk to you. So he comes over with her. They talk for a minute. I'm just standing there because I was in the middle of saying goodbye, and I was just standing there. And then they finally come back, and I thought, okay, that was weird. And he walks over and he goes, Michelle, he said, God just told me that I should tithe to you today. And I said, really? I said, wow, really? He goes, well, I don't know what's more being spiritually fed than someone watching my baby all night so I can get some sleep because I have to work today. So I really appreciate you doing that. God said, just give her your tithe. I'm good. Just give her your tithe. And I was like, wow, thank you so much. And just, I guess, how much was it?
$250.
Yeah. And I opened it up and I just started bawling. And I said, you don't even understand. You don't even understand. And I told him the story and he goes, oh, I believe it. I believe it. And I was like, I walked out there like, oh my gosh. So you just don't even know, you don't even know. It isn't always going to be just like follow the guiding, but I like that. Do that first before you do anything else. Do that first so that God, you're in alignment there. And then definitely taking care of yourself. I love that. Even if it's like a 25 cent, like whatever, like do something just to start those becoming stronger than all these bills and things you've created to make yourself feel better. Why not just actually actually do things that make you feel better?
She was actually talking about in this article how like in the beginning when she was young that she was saving coin.
Yeah.
And she had, and recently Michelle Whittington went through the 7-jar thing at our best year yet, but how she was saving coin and that was her fun money.
Yeah.
Right. And she's like, I knew my bills, but first I did this.
I love it.
Yeah.
Whatever. Just changes your awareness, changes your mindset, changes how you're doing it. And it moves you, I think, in the right, obviously in the right direction.
Right. Of what's
away
important
from
to
what
you.
the programming is, how we all have been programmed to do it, and how's that working for you? So just shifting your mindset around money. If you're not living financially in the abundance that you want, then there's a money thing going on there. There's something going on there. And so just even that little tiny tweak, you're already moving in a different direction. You change the compass just a degree and you're heading somewhere else. So whatever, little things. It's the little things. You don't have to do some drastic big thing to have a whole different life,
And remember, Reverend Jeannie did not tell you to go spend your money all on yourself. I said the amount, right? They still stay the same. It's the when, not the amount.
So that's
I just wanted to make sure
that's
that
her disclaimer this morning.
my disclaimer. I don't want somebody coming back. Well, Jeannie said, spend it all on God and myself, and APS could just Not getting any. Yeah, I don't want APS coming back to me and saying,
We don't need any
hey,
trouble.
yeah, I don't want them shutting me off.
No, we need no trouble.
I
with
paid
it.
my bill.
Yeah. Oh my God. But I love that. That's a great awareness. And so then look at the other parts of your life too and see where you're not doing that for yourself first. And you're maybe doing something else. Like just get some awareness. And you've been with us this morning. This is a great day then to go home and just spend a little time reflecting on the things that we talked about today. Look at the areas of life and say, how am I doing here? How am I doing here? How am I doing here? And see what comes up for you and then work on it. Just little steps,
Right.
just little things.
And next month, we're going to help you with that because it's all about change and choice.
Right. I'm excited for next month. Next month's really cool. We've done a lot of good stuff and we were like, oh, this is a whole month.
Yeah.
Let's put this all together.
Yeah, so it'll help us change those perspectives that maybe we're a little stuck in right now. I mean, and there's the thing, you get stuck because you get comfortable, right? And you get comfortable because you had a desire and a belief that came true. You manifested something and good, right? The job, the home, the relationship, and then you got comfortable. Let me speak about myself. And then I got comfortable, right? And then you stop doing the things because those things are good. And then those things are no longer good because if you're not feeding something, it's not growing, right? And so now it's about realizing that there's a balance and that you need to feed the areas that stop growing, right? And to make sure that you're making that effort. And I am famous for going, no, I'm good, and so, I mean, this has been a wake-up call for me at what we've been doing this on prosperity, because while money's not necessarily something that I have felt the lack in, right? There are other areas in my life that I was like, wow, I really let that go. I didn't pay attention to it. How'd that happen? Okay, now what can I do? And yeah. So I'm looking forward to change and choice.
Well, then there's those times where change comes or you should change something, but it's scary because you don't know what's on the other side. You get the hit like you shouldn't be doing this way, or you should do it that way, or whatever God tells you. And then you're like, oh, but if I don't know what's going to happen, if I say that to so-and-so, what are they going to do about it? You just don't know what's on the other side. So you just stay where you are because you know that, you know how to navigate that, how to deal with that. If it doesn't make you happy, you still know how to, move in that space. But there's something better for you. And it's like, yeah, but what if I risk for that and it doesn't work out and then I've lost this too? Like, then what? Then how do I feel then? So it's also the fear of the change and the move and the whatever else you need to do. But that's also that growth that you need. If you're getting those nudges or those hits that you need to make a change in one of those areas of your life, they can be scary. It can feel scary to do those things, but sometimes that's the very thing that is what's holding you back from your abundance and your prosperity all across the board, is that one place. So it's just having real awareness. I'm not saying like you have to, as soon as you get the hit, you have to change right that second, but just have some awareness around it, figure out what your blocks are, what are the fears, and talk to them and find out if they're valid fears or not. Or are you just out of the present moment freaking yourself out over something that you don't know for sure is even going to happen? So I just think it's really great to take inventory on the different areas, find the blocks, speak to the blocks, find out if they're true or not, and then make your moves from there. Make it, not logical, but like informed moves, to where you do feel like you can. And it may take you some time to actually maneuver yourself. But sometimes it's that you're comfortable with whatever is happening and you're not happy there. You don't want it, but it's better than what you don't know sometimes.
And I think that's
that's a tough one.
So-called the fear of the unknown. It's not
the
that
devil you know. What's that term? The devil I'd rather say the devil I know
than the devil I don't. Well, why do we have to think it's all bang?
I know. What if it's not a devil on the other side? What if it's something amazing?
One of my life rules: don't operate on speculation.
Oh.
Don't get the answers.
Don't operate on speculation. There
That's
you
right.
go.
That's right. Or don't, what's the other one? It starts with a P. What's the word that starts, possibility, not possibility.
Project. Project.
Are you thinking the
The-
presence one?
No, the one about don't potential. Don't just, wait for, well, that has a potential of being this. It's got the potential of being that, but it's like never happening, never happening, never happening. It's like, okay, yeah, but at some point, like, I need to make the solid move, the moves that I am being told I need to make. Move in that
Right.
direction,
Right.
Stop sitting in something that's not making you happy because it's got potential. It could, but it's just still like that over and over and over and over, So that's hard.
And you backed up from the word logical, and I was like, that was interesting. But I get it, because sometimes we spend a lot of time in the logical voice, right?
I could spin there for a very long
Sure.
time. Mhm.
So remember the other voices that you have, right? Like the heart chakra one, where you're coming from there, and then remember your power center. Okay, so logic says do this, your heart says your power goes no. Logic says do this, your heart says oh yeah, and your power goes maybe. So make sure you're aligned for you, right? Does it really matter if your best friend says this is what you should do, or your mom, or your kid, or your boss? No, right? Because what is working for you in this scenario? So that's the biggest thing. And there, I would say the same thing with your money, same thing with your decisions. God, your best interest, and then others, and then APS.
Right. And I don't think, people like to give advice, but to me, that's their own advice.
Right.
That's their own advice and their own filter. That's not the same as, that's not your advice. Your advice, your own advice. Oh my goodness. I love it. We have people just show up. I love it. It makes me so happy. But listen, you guys, we have at our core the truth, right? The truth of who we are. And it's like right here, you can feel it right here. It's in where your heart space would be. And it's also in your gut state. Like you can feel it there. Like what she just was pointing to. You can just feel that. If you ask yourself, should I do this? You're going to get a direct response. And then you're going to get the flood that comes in from up here, right? And we've talked about this before. This is not where I want to operate. This is just a bunch of data, all the stuff I've collected, all the stuff, and that's fine. I'm not saying you don't maybe need that, but you've already been told. You've already been given the answer, and if you can just clear that away and get back to that quick little answer that you got, that's the one. Yes,
Yeah,
that's the one to move with.
Right.
That's the one to go with, and that's the one that's I think that's so amazing is how often I forget about it. That's I already had that mood. It was already there, and I went with all this stuff. That makes me nuts. But when I take the moment and I get quiet and I go, okay, now wait a minute. I'm going to ask the question again, and I'm going to really listen to what that actual answer was from here, because that's the God stuff in you telling you what that right move is. And it might seem crazy and scary. And when I get that now, if it scares me, I just go, okay, well then I'm just going to, put on my big girl shoes and I'm going to go. I'm going to go do it. I'm going to just throw myself with abandon at it, because I just want to trust that, and I just want to go. And every time I've done that, the response has been amazing, because God really knows the way. We're just scared of it, or all the data comes in because we've just never been there before. We've never done it before. So we don't have the data, the stuff. We're like, oh my God. And that's scary. It's like, what do they say about the staircase? You can't see the whole thing. Just take the first step. Then you'll see the next one. You'll see the next one. You don't have to see the whole thing to know that it's there. Just move. And it can be little. Just move a little bit. Change the direction of where you're going.
And then you get the confidence too.
And then every time it's right, it's always going to be right. But every time you do that and you validate that, the next time, like with me, when I get those hits, I just go at them, because I've proven it so many times. That was the move, that was the move, that was the move. This last situation I've been in, I got that answer and I didn't take it because I was so scared of my own emotions and my own feelings, and going through the process of trusting that I deemed it to be horrible. Even though I knew it was right, I trusted that it was right, but I still was like, yeah, I have so much to do right now.
I don't have time to have
If I
these
do
emotions,
this,
is what you said.
I cannot be derailed from, I have like 3 things I'm talking to this month. I've got so much done. I got my business. I got to travel to this. I'm like thinking to myself, there's no time for a breakdown in the middle of my life right now. So can I just wait a few more, just hang on. And it still was revving up. So it still came. But I'm not as bad as I thought, and I'm actually moving through it a lot better than I thought. I do have my moments, but they have not derailed me because I'm solid, and every time they come, I go, but my truth is this, and the truth is that, and this, and I've talked to myself differently, and so I'm like, wow, I could have done this a while ago. I just didn't know that I was already there. That I was already at this, ready for it. God told me I wasn't trusting that I was ready. God knew I wasn't trusting that. So these hits, every time you follow them and you see what's on the other side, you go, oh, I could have just done that because it was right. And then you'll get better at them. Every time they come, you'll get better. And so I encourage you to look at the 8 areas of your life and just find where those spots are and hear what God has to say about them and make your moves. Do your best to make your moves.
I got
What
a
you
little
got?
something.
I love it. She's always got a good reading.
So this one comes from chapter 9 of this thing called You. If you wish to know the truth about your business or your profession, know that it is an activity of good. It is an activity of your partnership with the infinite. The business of life is to be happy, active, and whole, to express the divine life with joy and in fulfillment. Lift the load of personal responsibility by transferring it to the law of perfect action. No matter what confronts you, what obstructions appear, or what undesirable situations exist in your experience, this law can dissolve them.
Amen.
So I was like, okay, I love that.
I agree. I love that. I know this law can dissolve them.
Exactly. So we're at that time period.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, I want to ask if
I was
anybody
gonna
has
say.
any prosperity questions, answers, ahas that you experienced this month.
It's been a good month.
It has been a
I've
good
been enjoying
month.
this month. Yeah.
I really have felt, I knew you had something.
Oh, can't help it. Trick.
I'll stretch. There you go, my dear.
You encouraged me to create an irresistible deal on Yoga Nidra. I've had like a whole bunch of people reach out, including people through self-esteem. And yeah, so I'm super excited. We're going to start August 1st at 5 a.m. on Zoom. And yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
That is so exciting. Good job, Amy. Give a quick plug. Give a quick plug for it.
Yoga Nidra, it's a guided meditation. You're verging on the space of sleep, but you don't sleep. And it's like meditation and hypno combined. So you bring an intention if you're creating something. Look at the
Where can they get this information?
5 a.m. and 9 p.m. Because I'm going to 5 a.m. It's a great way to start.
Yeah,
right?
sounds like
And
it.
then 9 p.m. you can do the nidra and then like drift off. People will fall asleep at that point.
So where can they get your info? You're in here on the group, right?
I'm on the group.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
we
on
did
this
share it.
feed,
You
Amy's
actually
on here.
shared.
Oh, and we shared it. So you guys, if you want to get in on this, it's amazing what Amy does.
$30
$30
for 30 days.
For 30 days?
And you get
And
a
the
one-on-one.
bonus.
There's a bonus.
Oh
You get
my
a
God,
one-on-one.
it is an irresistible offer. Okay, so check it out. We're gonna all do this. It's gonna be awesome. Good job, Amy.
Yay. I love it. Who else? Who else has something where we've had prosperity,
All good? All
abundance?
right, I think it's been a great
Yeah,
month. Okay.
it's been an awesome
Love
month.
it.
So I so appreciate
There's
that.
swimming in prosperity that's like, how do you
Absolutely.
I know so much of it.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of work to still be done, I'm sure.
Right?
Am I digging this for you? Because you were gonna do a meditative
Yes.
thing? Okay.
Yes, we're gonna. So what we're gonna do is do a little heart math type meditation, and then I will take us out in prayer.
Love it. All right, here we go.
Okay. So we are going to breathe in And when we exhale, we're going to exhale longer than we breathed in. And if you want to give that a sigh, give it some sound. Really want to get centered. Hey, I'm going to invite you, if you haven't already, to close your eyes if that's available to you. And I want you to drop your intention to your heart. And if it helps you to place your hand on your heart center, I want you to begin to welcome the feeling of love, appreciation, gratitude by remembering a time when you previously felt this big love, gratitude, appreciation, compassion. We're going to spend a few moments here. Remember the feeling of this, the warmth of that love. Whether it's a grandchild cooing or throwing their arms around your neck, or maybe a puppy or a kitten, or your grown child saying, I love you so much, thank you. Thank you for all you've taught me. Or your partner holding your hand, saying, we've got this together. Or that time your best friend gave you a gift for no reason. That gratitude of being present in our heart space. Now with this fullness, that strong feeling of emotion, of appreciation and gratitude and love, I want you to think of that intention, that desire you have for increase in your life, that new business, that new relationship, that new level of health, and that feeling of manifesting that. See that hiking in Peru, Machu Picchu. Feel that expression of joy, of effervescent joy bubbles as you just purchase that new sofa, that bed, without any concern of affordability. That feeling of acceptance and love and appreciation for yourself, for your skin, for your body that you are in. For that new client who says, I don't know how I existed before you. That warmth and that joy of knowing you make a difference. Let's breathe that in and feel that. What does that feel like in your shoulders as they drop, knowing you are completely supported by the divine right action? That the divine is holding you like the seat below you, knowing that you cannot fail. That there is only life happening here in this present moment. That who you are is exactly who you are meant to be in this moment. And everything that the divine has is available to you now. What would that feel like to reach up and grab that divine presence and bring it into you, knowing that you have always been it? Hold the divine's hand. Feel the divine's arms around you. Experience the divine in your power center, in your heart, in your head, in each cell, moving, breathing, animating you, and knowing that each person you meet is also that. Now, we're going to wrap these feelings into this now moment where our desire is already fulfilled. Oh, the joy of this desire, this feeling, this perfect moment that is us, prosperous, happy, free, love, joy, wisdom. Breathe that in and put your shoulders back. Open up your heart to that presence, that feeling. And in this space, I say, thank you, God. Thank you, life. Thank you, universe, for the manifestation of these desires, these prayers, this amazing abundance that is us. Thank you for that now. And in this, I release my word, this sound, this vibration on our heart chakras out from us into the divine infinite field of possibilities, claiming it as good and done. And I want to hear you. Together we say, and so it is. Yes. Wow. Okay. I'm buzzing.
Are you all right?
I am. Look at this.
Goosies.
Look at this. Ooh, goosies. Yeah.
Good job.
Thanks.
I
Every
felt like
once
I
in a
got
while.
taken somewhere else.
I'm telling you, every once in a while, I remember when I do this, right?
Just every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
Smart Alex.
Silly.
Oh my gosh, do we have any comments for today? Any sharings? Anything we want to bring up before we go to our closing sequence?
Yes, our closing.
How can we support you?
That's our
Oh,
closing
that's
sequence.
a darn good question
I
there,
love that.
Ann.
She asked how the guys could support us.
Well, the first one is please go to Begin Within Ministries YouTube and subscribe. Please,
right?
please.
Because why do we need that? We need a certain number for what?
Well, it used to be
We don't need that anymore?
We don't need to live on there since we have StreamYard. So
Got
now,
it.
well, that's why we wanted it at least 50 so we could do live. But now that
Now
we're
we just want it because we want it.
yeah, because we want it. We want it because we want it. And I see it, and so it is.
And so it is.
That's
so it shall
right.
be. No, but we love that support. We love the support of our Facebook people. When you guys go onto your Facebook, go check out our live, and if you would heart it, put a little GIF in there so that there's a lot of activity, make some comments, and then if you share that to your own feed and say, hey, this is what I did this morning, I love this, or whatever you want to say, make sure you're commenting when you share it. that tells Facebook that something's going on in this group, and then Facebook will share it more often to everybody. So we're trying to build that up, that algorithm up, so you all can help with that. And so many of you do, and we really
And we
appreciate,
so appreciate
that when
that.
you do that. And then you can always, the other way is to support us financially with your gifts, and you can do that going to beginwithinministries.com. There's a donation page on there. You can do a one-time gift. You can also become a spiritual church club partner, and that's what several of them in the room are. You get your mug for that,
Get
which
your mug.
we always say coffee tastes
tastes
better
better.
in a Sofa Sundays mug. It
Coffee
does.
tastes better in this mug.
I know for sure. Hot cocoa tastes good in there, and tea too. I don't know if you
Water's
noticed
even
that.
better.
Water's even better.
That's
It's just better.
Water's better.
But you'll get one of those. You'll get our little sofa charm, and then you get discounts and freebies all the time. So we're getting ready to
Exactly.
start another class, and those are free for the partners. We always want to support our partners and give back. But the more partners we have, the more things we can do. And so that's the big goal. The goal is to grow. The goal is to have our own building someday. The goal is to get Jeannie a labyrinth. Somehow, that's what she wants. So, but you all get to share in all of that, which is great. And for those of you with families and children, a building would allow us to do even more there. So we're on this
And
trajectory.
We also want to support you, your business, your goodness in this world, what you like to do. And I look out in this crowd and I know people do things, and like Amy with Yoga Nidra, and I'm very excited for her on that. And every other Tuesday, our friend Linda does sound bowls at Soulflower, and Anne's an amazing HR specialist, and Cindy does officiating of weddings and celebrations of life. And christenings. There you go. So there is so much that our partners do that are available. So we're also your spiritual networking club.
Right. I love
So,
that.
yes.
Spiritual network. See, I told you we're doing church a little differently.
We are,
Yeah,
yeah. We want to support each other.
Right.
That's the goal.
We want a
Yes.
thriving community, so that we get that when you show up in person, give each other real hugs, and when you share us on the feeds and you show up live on our feeds too, that's very helpful also. So
Yes.
we want to be there for each other. We're creating something, and we want you all to be a part of it. So we appreciate that support, and I appreciate you. You're
I
pretty awesome.
appreciate you too.
Yeah, I keep you on the
Yeah,
sofa.
I'll keep you, honey. And you know what? You look darn good with purple hair.
Oh yes, go check out our
Check us out our
Instagram.
Instagram.
We use filters on Instagram, so
Yeah.
today was the purple hair day. I looked kind of cool with the purple hair.
Doesn't
Yeah.
everybody look good with
Yeah,
I
I'm
know.
telling you.
Anne's
I'm
like,
just gonna say.
I do it all the
Yes,
time.
Absolutely. All right. Well,
All
that's
right.
it for us.
Love seeing you all. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for
We'll see
being
you
here.
next week.
Thank you
Whole new
online.
month, whole new topic.
There
So
you
next
go.
month, yeah.
All
for sure.
righty.
All right, Trey. It's all you.
There you go, Trey.
comes
Tell
our
them to say
sound
goodbye.
Sound check is saying goodbye.
Bye.